I'm Alan Massengale alongside the champ Sean O'Grady. And Sean, last time we saw the Mexico City Guerreros, they were a weary and beaten up bunch. They lost at home to the LA Matadors. Now they brought in some new fighters on the roster, one from Croatia, one from Venezuela, and one from Sweden, of all places, by way of Uganda. As we take a look at the lineup tonight, and we got some interesting situations here. Beginning with a heavyweight you like, Cam Thompson down there, that may be the headliner.
I like him a lot. He's got a good style. He doesn't get hit very much, and he hits the other person a lot. He's exciting to watch. He's a little bit of a counterpuncher, and that could be a difficult task for him because Payares is one of the new hires on the Mexico City team. He is also a counterpuncher. He likes to move.
All right, Sean, the rules people should know in the World Series of Boxing, a new thing and very exciting.
They are very different, and they are exciting. 5 matches at one weight class. All the 5 matches, each fight 5 rounds, 3-minute rounds. 3 judges score the fight, referees do not. And these are under the auspices of the 10-point must system. No headgear and no vest, just like the professionals.
Our first fight, Deterin, Dalakliev, the world champion in the bantamweight division, taking on the 4-time Mexican champion, Braulio Avila. To get right to that, we're going to send it to our ring announcer, Chuck Roberts.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing for this first bout of the World Series of Boxing from Tlaxcala, Mexico, Braulio Avila.
In comes Avila. He's a speedy fighter, has deadly force, sharp, accurate puncture. And last time out, he impressed us in November when he beat Ernesto Garza of Memphis in a big blowout, but last time against Jose Luis Mesa, he struggled and lost, and he had a good excuse, Sean. He said he's studying business management. He'd been studying for his final exams, so he was tired when he had that loss, but he's in against really tough competition tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing the Memphis Force from Plaven, Bulgaria, Detelin, Dalakliev.
Here's a tough customer, Sean. Dalakliev, a world champion in the Amateur International Federation, and so he's got to come back tonight after a loss also.
Well, he was very upset about that loss that he had in Los Angeles recently. He was so angry. We saw him after the fight. He was angry at himself. He says he's trained harder, and he's coming back with more force in the Memphis Force. He wants to start this off with a win tonight. Detelin, Dalakliev.
For 2004, when he came on the scene in Bulgaria to win his country's championship. And let's take a look at this matchup. I think it's going to be a great fight. I really do, from what we've seen of these guys.
Well, here they go on the head-to-head, and as you can see on there the weights. Look at the height difference. You've got Dalakliev, who fights from the outside. He likes to fight on the outside. He will go in if he needs to. And Braulio Avila, only 5'2", but Avila is a boxer.
Once again, welcome to the Desoto Civic Center and the World Series of Boxing. Our first bout of the evening is a 5-round battle in the bantamweight division. Representing the Mexico City Guerreros, fighting out of his hometown of Tlaxcala, Mexico, ladies and gentlemen, Braulio Avila. And representing the Memphis Force, fighting out of his hometown of Plaven, Bulgaria, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Detelin, Dalakliev. The referee for this first bout is David Lorado.
Waiting final instructions here as they're having some, Francisco Bonilla over there has had some last-minute retaping of these gloves, and Sean can tell you they're actually Velcro. It's not like the taping we see traditionally in professionals, but they put some clear tape on the outside, Sean. That's what they have a problem with.
You know, and it's a fight like this, amazing to see. The easiest name to pronounce in the ring is the referee, David Liado. He's taking a look over the gloves, making sure they're all ready to go. Looks at the mouthpiece.
And here's final instructions.
My commands at all times. Okay. Clean fight. This here is good. This right here is good. Okay, touch up.
First round Coming up, scheduled for 5. Avila, very fluent in English and Spanish, even though he's from Tlaxcala, Mexico. We really enjoy meeting him, both these fighters.
And he's a smart kid, too. He's smart. He's working on his business administration.
Now, you'll notice that Sean will tell you that the European fighter, they mostly fight a European style. He's going to fight tall. He is taller. But he's more determined not to go to. He's a world champion, so it'd be horrible for Dalakliev to go to 1 and 2, and not to mention Braulio, who's he's the Mexican national champion 4 years in a row. So something's got to give here in the World Series of Boxing tonight. They come right out. We call it the Bam Bam division, and they won't pause for 1 second, will they, Sean?
Not at all. Look how nice and high the hands of Braulio are. He keeps them up around his head. The old trainers teach you to touch your hands to your eyebrows. That'll tell you your hands are high enough. And that's what he does.
I would imagine he knows he's fighting a very tall fighter in this bantamweight division. But he's going right. He'll go downstairs right there, showing more confidence. He's already got more energy than he had last time we saw him against the Matadors.
He has a lot to prove too. Braulio does. Well, so does Dalakliev. These are two fighters that really know their way around the ring. Both of them well skilled.
The best term that Mr. O'Grady talks about is they're professional amateurs. You got to remember, these guys have been in the ring a decade for Avila since he was 14, which is not unusual in Mexico, and Dalakliev has 12 years experience. So these guys are professionals. Oh, good right hand here for Dalakliev. Got another one just got in. Boy, they're banging away here, Sean.
Bam Bam division, you're right. Look how much bigger Dalakliev looks in there over Braulio. Braulio looks like a boy against a man. Dalakliev 27. We talked about that on the head-to-head. Physically looks bigger. That's good work from Braulio. Braulio's got to get down, get underneath, and go in, attack on the angles, under and then over the top. I don't think I've ever seen a fighter more angry than his last loss from Dalakliev. He was mad at himself. He was so upset about that. He told me, he said, my opponent was just hitting me on the arms. He wasn't really hitting me.
Well, he felt like, we talk about the home crowd advantage in LA. They've got a big one. He thought the crowd influenced that win for Fernando Martinez down there, and that is a very boisterous crowd when we go into Los Angeles down at the Nokia Center. And right now he's covering up. Avila, I see a slight mark on the left temple of Dalakliev, that one punch we called earlier that Avila was managing to get in.
Dalakliev got beat by Fernando Martinez in that fight in Los Angeles by unanimous decision, and he was really hurt and upset by that, angry. And it was a close fight. I thought it could have gone either way. I thought that Fernando did pull out the victory right at the end, though.
We're in round 1, scheduled for 6.
I like that when a fighter is upset about their loss. That means they care. And these are two fighters that care.
Final seconds of round 1, I just heard. We already see some marks. There's Coach Bradley over there. He's in the Army for about 25 years, so he knows how to handle young men as a sergeant.
Anthony Bradley, and he runs this like a
double jab right
team.
That's good. How you feel? Good round. Good round.
And there's a look at Braulio. Avila, along with his coach, Francisco Bonilla. I really like this kid, Braulio. I like his style because he doesn't get hit very solidly very much, and I like it because it would appear to me that he would have a long career because he takes care of himself. He's a student in college as well as a student of the game of boxing.
Just getting started here in South Haven, Mississippi, across the state line from Memphis, Tennessee, the Memphis Force. Detelin Dalakliev is in the purple trunks, taking on the fighter from Mexico City, Braulio Avila. Round 2, scheduled for 5. The first round, very fast pace. I see a couple of marks around the eyes of Dalakliev, which is not unusual for him. That's good work right there, Sean. The combinations, Avila Kind of reminds me the way he comes into angles. Oh, the left hand just got in of a great fighter from Tijuana we followed for years, Eric Morales, who kind of revolutionized Mexican fighters by the fact that he wasn't always straightforward. He used his angles like we see this Avila doing. That's what Eric Morales brought to the table.
Very similar, and that's going to be a great fighter for Braulio to emulate in the ring. I mean, he looks a lot like him. He doesn't go right in there. He kind of gives ground occasionally. A lot of those Mexican fighters only know one way to fight. That's right straight ahead like that. But Braulio, I have seen him in the past. He scores, then he moves out. Now, the last time that Dalakliev had an opponent that did that, Dalakliev said, well, he was just hitting me on the arms and not really scoring. But I think they're hitting.
Talk about styles. That's what we're talking about. You learn. That's what the World Series of Boxing is about. We've got the best amateurs from around the world. There's a guy from Bulgaria who's well-known over in Eastern Europe. But his styles, fighting Mexican fighters, Europeans traditionally have trouble with Mexican fighters, especially with one like this who fights, like I said, sort of like an Eric Morales. He doesn't get hit a lot, and he comes in and like that right hand, he just landed right there, and he can frustrate you. And Martinez did that to Dalakliev also in that last fight.
And they are both real ring-wise. They both know their way around this squared circle. They're both smart. Look at these combinations. This is fantastic work.
Great work.
And then one-punch retaliation from Dalakliev.
Yeah, he caught him on the way back, too, so that punch didn't have the full force of it. When I make my notes about Dalakliev, I talk about he is great technically, but he should probably use a little more pop on his punches.
He does, yeah. He needs a little bit more upper body, especially in a match like this. In a match like this is difficult to him because Braulio is so fast.
Look at Braulio. This is the guy we saw in the first fight. Tenacity.
Determination, too. Look at on his face. It's on Dalaklev's as well.
Digging into the body. That was good downstairs, upstairs, like he's working the bag, Sean.
He wants this. He wants it.
Good body work.
Good movement from him, too. He's combination punching, and Dalakliev is looking for that one single punch. Being a bigger fighter that Dalakliev is in this match, he may be looking for that, power blow.
Well, you talk about how he's got to work his combinations. He gets frustrated because he's good defensively. There was a shot that was almost below Avila's belt line. Did you notice that Mexico City has road uniforms? Do you know that? Their trunks are all white on the road in Mexico.
Oh, there you go. I like that. I like that idea.
Final seconds, round 2 is Avila stalking, doing a good job.
Inside, right? Now we talk about the body. Work the body, come up on the top and throw the right hand behind it. He's there for you.
Anthony Bradley, the coach.
And there's Francisco Bonilla. Take a look at some of the action. Good work in that round from Avila.
Oh, good work is right. The combination punching is what can win fights for him. He gets hit on one shot on the way out, but he pulls the power out of the punch. That's why I like this kid. He doesn't get hit very solidly very often. That punch was solid, but Braulio pulled the power out, put the solidness out of it by pulling back with that punch, taking the power out of it, taking the play out of it. Dalakliev, so much ring generalship. These are very close rounds. Both of them very close.
Round 3 scheduled for 5, and Avila in the white trunks from Mexico City comes out, goes right to work, working behind the jab a little bit. I think he has frustrated Dalakliev in the first 2 rounds, Sean. Frankly, I'm not scoring it. I don't know how it's been scored, but I think he's done a good job. He's the fighter we saw that first fight that impressed you so much down in Mexico City. Look at these angles. Look at him work the body, and now he stalks across the ring. He's got Dalakliev tying up right now. I think Dalakliev has fallen into the trap against the Mexican fighter who has these good, accurate, sharp punches. And now he's gonna, if he doesn't turn it around in this round, he needs to turn around right now, Sean.
It is getting to that point where you're in no man's land. Halfway through the fight, if you haven't won a round or even a minute of the round, you got to start thinking, I need to change my tactics here. I need to do something else.
And you can look in the eyes of Dalakliev. Both eyes are swollen, which tells you a lot of those punches he talks about fighters landing on his elbows, landed on his eyes, and he's getting a little bit red around the eyes.
Oh, sure, and he will. But he needs to get going. Dalakliev is
nice jab there from Dalakliev.
Like a tired fighter, though. He's looking like a tired fighter, like he's arm weary already. It was a good cross from him.
Well, I wonder about fighters also. 147 left, round 3. Who, he's a tall bantamweight, so he's got a lot of weight to lose. He looks a little thin to me, and that's always an issue when you're trying to fight at this weight and you're that tall.
It's always an issue anywhere, in any way.
In any way,
it's always an issue.
He fought as a lightweight, and you're very tall. You know the issue.
Well, I used elevator boxing shoes, and that helped me.
I just like this work Avila's doing.
It's so good.
He's not been hit, really, I don't think. Maybe one punch in the first round. But
you're right, Alan. There's a way to beat every fighter out there, and Avila he's smart enough in boxing. Look at that scoring from him. He's smart enough in boxing. I'm not going out there to knock out this fella. I'm going to go out there to hit him with a bunch of punches, and that's what Avila has done. Look at this. He's working.
He's working the body upstairs. He's got him going backwards. Avila under 1 minute left in round 3.
Yeah, remember that first round, how aggressive Braulio was giving ground. Dalakliev was putting all the pressure on in the first. Now it's Braulio who can put the pressure.
I think Dalaklev's getting hit with punches and bunches, and he's looking more desperate to throw the big punch.
He knows he needs it. He's a smart fighter. He knows it.
30 seconds left at round number 3. Look at Avila using the ring, staying away, getting in, and when he sees an opening, he's just really looked like the guy that so impressed Sean O'Grady in his first match in Mexico City. We thought he might emerge as the class of the bantamweight division. Then he had a setback, and now we'll see how he reacts to that setback. Wow, good work upstairs right there.
He lost to Jose Luis Mesa, and I know Braulio would love to have a rematch. That was during the finals week that you talked about earlier, and he had to study for finals and didn't get enough training in. But he'd love to have a rematch of that one.
End of round number 3. All right, take a look at the highlights.
And here they are from that third round. It was Braulio Avila who scored well. He moved in, trying to tie up his Dalakliev. He did not get hit very often.
Nope.
He was firing off. He wasn't waiting. Dalakliev is waiting. He's gotten in this mode of pausing, and whenever he pauses, then Braulio scores. You cannot wait.
There's the former world champion, the left-hander Michael Moore. He's a long way from Philadelphia.
Well, he's the first left-handed heavyweight champion in boxing.
And how about that? We had him, had Evander Holyfield the other night in Los Angeles, and now the former world champion.
That's fantastic.
Michael Moore.
Great fighter. Any world champion.
Round number 4.
Great fighter.
Scheduled for 5 in the bantamweight Bam Bam division, as we call it. Braulio Avila, I think, has dominated this fight. Dalaklev's got to find a way to turn it around. He might be looking for the big punch, but it's hard to hit this Avila. You can't just be offensive. You got to have good defense, and Avila has certainly got that part of it down pat tonight. There's that big punch over the right Dalaklev's trying to land. Now, Avila knows exactly what's coming now. He knows he's winning this fight, and he knows that Dalaklev's going to try to land that big punch.
But it's Braulio who is the aggressor in this round. Good feint. Did you see that feint right there? Feint your opponent out of position, and then you score. Braulio feinted him out of position. Didn't follow up with it, but he feinted him. Good feint. We'll see some more of those. Dalakliev holding on. Braulio is too fast for Detelin. Good uppercut. And too elusive. Good combination. Look at that.
Well, look at Avila.
This kid is tough. I like him a lot. I think he is one of the best, if not the best, in this whole tournament.
Bantamweight division always comes out and gives us really exciting fights from the moment the first bell sounds.
From Tlaxcala, Mexico, just east of Mexico City. And he loves boxing. A little pulling from the back of the head. Now that's the referee.
David Laredo's your referee. We have international referees, international judges.
International fighters.
And a lot of talent all the way around.
And the announcers are international men of mystery.
Yes. It's a mystery how they got to be announced.
Talking to Chuck Roberts. What an exciting fight.
105 left, round number 4.
Look how low. I love the way Dalakliev gets down. See, he lowers his head and he keeps his shoulders up around his he looks like he's flexing his shoulders. You know, they're around his chin where he doesn't get hit a lot. There was a little stab.
You know, if he loses this fight, I know what he's going to say is that he wouldn't fight me. But you got to pick your spots. I mean, Avila's in there certainly enough. He's just Avila's. See this? Left, right. He's letting Avila dictate the pace. That's exactly what's happening.
You're right. You're right. Very observant with that.
Off the break.
Angry. That's just angry. And that's the way he fights. Dalakliev, he has to get mad to get.
He is mad.
Yeah, he's mad.
He's mad and he's frustrated. Uh-oh, caught one right on the chin. Avila just got on those ropes and paid for that one. I don't know. I think he felt that one.
Remember, Alan, I told you in Los Angeles, I saw him. He was mad. He's going to be mad again after tonight's fight.
Exactly.
Even
Final
better.
6 seconds, round number 4.
Wow. Good pace. These are bantamweights.
Okay.
You're not putting your punches together.
Just listen in.
Together, son. You're sitting there letting them take charge over you guys. You're letting them tell you. That's why I say always keep a double jab in his face. You understand me, Jerry? You're not putting your punches together. You got to put them together. The double jab right here when it's working.
Well, it's always good to hear a coach confirm what the observation I made, Sean, about letting him dictate the pace. Take a look at some of what's going on here.
And that's what we're talking about. These punches and bunches are what's controlling. You know, if you don't retaliate, if your opponent scores, you don't retaliate, and all of a sudden he's ahead.
Look, Vito, you got to stay busy inside. Turn the uppercut underneath. Quick, get this quick.
Fifth and final round of the bantamweight division. You're at the Desoto Center in South Haven, Mississippi. Alan Massengill with Sean O'Grady, our first fight of the night in the final round. Braulio Avila of Mexico, the 4-time Mexican national champion in the bantamweight division. Been working the combinations all night against the world champion, gold medalist in Milan, Italy in 2009, Dalakliev of Bulgaria, who's had a tough time tonight trying to figure out what he's up against. Just threw a wild left, and you see the counter. Avila will jump all over you if he sees an opening.
And it's been a great fight just for Avila. It hasn't been for Dalakliev, but Avila has kept up the pace throughout the fight. Dalakliev looking a little bit desperate now. Maybe going low blow. Remember the last round he hit on the break. He got a warning for that. You know, he really would love for Braulio to stand still. Just hold still, let me hit you. Oh, this is such good boxing from Braulio Avila.
I was thinking about another fighter that had great movement, didn't have a lot of power, but in the bantamweight division was Paulie Ayala out of Texas.
Yeah,
I can kind of compare to what I'm seeing with Avila here as my mind shifts through my Rolodex of fighters over the last 25 years.
Both of them?
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah, it's well, there's so many fighters, so many great fighters in these lighter weight divisions, like Braulio, who spend their years learning to box, learning this art.
There's a flip feint right there you're talking about, like he was going to throw the right. To see what kind of reaction he got. Half the round is gone now. Now
turning around to southpaw.
Oh, guys, left hand from Avila just stuck right in there. You know, I don't know, and I never want to speak for the judges because anything can happen. We are in Memphis on their home floor, but I just think that Avila's really done everything he can do as a fighter to win this fight tonight. Unless it's turned around in the last minute of the 5th round. And some of those shots on the inside, Sean, people don't understand. They don't look like the big wind-up blows, but they really do a lot of damage on the inside.
Well, these fighters put their weight into it, their power behind the punch, their muscles of their arm into it. It hurts. I've never been hit with an easy punch, Alan.
Yeah, they all hurt.
Some hurt more than others.
43 seconds left. Avila, been a same pace from him throughout. Both fighters in good shape, but I just sense more frustration from the Bulgarian.
You know, I've always enjoyed watching boxers and
look at Avila. He's having fun now. He's having fun.
Like Avila that score like that. Get in, score. They have a fight plan. He came in here with an idea of how he wanted to beat somebody like Detelin, and he's sticking to his fight plan. That's what he wanted to do.
And you know what? It might have been a good thing for him to lose to Mesa. You know, we just really thought he looked so good, and You know, it doesn't hurt to learn from your mistakes.
Sure.
Nice straight left there, doing the job. Final seconds of round number 5.
Well, he's
been a
looking forward-
fast-paced fight throughout, and both fighters have given their all.
He is looking forward to a rematch with that Mesa fella, but I think it's an uphill battle. I think Dalakliev was not getting enough punches in. He was getting out hustled. He was getting beat. The angles were affecting him, and all from this man who told me what he was going to do tonight, and then he came out and did it. Love it.
I'm going to tell you something.
How you feel?
Dalakliev just got a Mexican fighting lesson, in my opinion.
He is. I have watched this kid, and I like Avila a lot. I think he's a class of that Mexican team.
You're supposed to bing.
They've got some other good fighters on there too, but I like his style and I like his attitude in the boxing. He was so upset that he lost one fight. Dalakliev, at the end of the fight, looking a little bit desperate in that fifth round, holding and also trying to push a little bit, trying to slow down Avila, everything. Trying to get to it. It was the final round.
Hey, quick. That make us look like shit, man. Performance like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this first bout of the World Series of Boxing, the scores. Judge Lavi 46-49. Judge Servita 45-50. And Judge Bonet 46-49. The winner from the Mexico City Guerreros, Braulio Avila.
Well, one judge had it about the way I had it. There's a congratulations for the Memphis Forest coach. A wipeout, 50-45. Remember, folks, it's a 10-point system. There's Sean getting ready to talk to Braulio. Let's get to know him a little bit more because I said he speaks fluid English. He's always a pleasure to hear from him. And let's send it right up to Sean now.
Nope, we don't baby.
Thanks, Alan. Braulio, congratulations. What a terrific fight. Did you feel the pace slow down at all in this fight?
Yeah, I think I was hard. He was punching hard, but I used intelligence, and that's what I got the win.
Do you think Braulio, he got desperate there at the end because he was throwing harder punches?
Yeah, he was throwing hard punches, but I was just carrying up, or I could get more resist and fight, still fighting.
Did you feel throughout this match that you had to get the punches and bunches? I saw you throwing a lot of shots and then moving.
Yeah, because he was the home, and if I felt him throw, he will win.
Him being taller than you, if give you any problem?
No, I didn't have no problem, but just I like to fight with boxers with him. With this, they throw not much punches. They're just moving, and well, that's what I like to fight. That fighters I like to fight.
I think you're the class of this tournament. I saw you against Mesa in California, and you were really upset that you lost that match. You want to fight him again, don't you?
Yeah, of course I want to fight him again, but I was just studying that. I can concentrate very well.
I love it. A fighter with brains and brawn. How about that? Braulio Avila. Nice job tonight. Way to go, Braulio. Yeah, Mexico City gets the first victory. Back over to you, Alan.
Okay, so that's going to put Mexico City in a commanding position because we're not going to have a lightweight fight tonight. Yaman Phelps could not go. Doctor's orders. He was knocked out in his last fight against the LA Matadors fighter. So it's going to be right now, they're down 0-2 going into the middleweight division.